Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on COVID 19's impact on your organization's security posture. My name is Neil Duplessis. I'm a cloud solutions and security architect at BUI. For those of you that's joining us for the first time, here's a fun overview of who we are and what we do. Starting from the top left, we are Microsoft's number one partner in the region, with over 20 years of cloud and security experience. We are thankful but also proud of our achievements and awards that we continue to win every year, some of which you can see in the bottom right hand side. From a products and services point of view, we help our customers adopt modern workplace, build cloud infrastructure and solutions, and to do so safely from a cybersecurity point of view. We also help them on an ongoing basis through a variety of managed services, including specialized services like change management and also cybersecurity operations. But today we want to share with you some insights and also some solutions related to decreased organizational cybersecurity posture experienced as a result of the COVID 19 pandemic and the associated impact on organizations. So, firstly, let's consider a few of the practical implications of COVID 19 that is relevant to cybersecurity posture. Perhaps one of the most sudden and severe requirements for change that organizations have ever had to deal with was for everyone to work from home while maintaining job effectiveness. Working from home, combined with the transition to homeschooling and perhaps even the partial loss of income, created a severe human and psychological impact. In addition, significant and sudden changes to IT systems, as well as new patterns of work that includes virtual teamwork and virtual team management and leadership, created a perfect storm of sorts for a new generation of targeted cyber threats to emerge. Although organizations were able to accelerate already in flight digital transformation projects, in many cases the rapid deployment of new technologies created technical debt or the selection of temporary solutions, often at the expense of enterprise considerations and cybersecurity. Let's consider some of the technological and also human factors that may have reduced the organization's overall cybersecurity posture, as well as possible solutions in each area. The first major impact COVID 19 had on organization security posture, and from a strategic point of view, is the elimination of cyber defense layers, namely network and infrastructure security. Organizations have for years put a lot of effort into securing the office or campus infrastructure, network, and internet perimeter. However, with a lot of us lately working predominantly from home, these layers of security have been stripped away. In fact, we have seen a significant increase in cyber attacks that assume correctly these layers of protection to be missing. Organizations now rely significantly more on other layers of defense as part of their defense in depth strategies. The identity security, endpoint security, application security, and data security layers, in that order, are now almost solely responsible for providing cyber defense. Over the past year, we have helped many of our customers strengthen these layers of defense. For example, one, by implementing multi factor authentication and conditional access provided by Azure Active Directory in the identity layer. Two, by adopting advanced artificially intelligent threat detection and response solutions with built in vulnerability management provided by Defender for Endpoint. Three, by adding attachment and URL sandboxing together with advanced anti phishing and anti email malware powered by Defender for Office in the application layer. Four, by building an effective last line of defense in the data layer using data leakage prevention, information protection, and cloud app security. Lastly, these layers of defense can be effectively combined through Azure Active Directory conditional access and managed through Microsoft 365 Defender XDR or Extended Detection and Response. An alternative approach here is to completely virtualize desktops and apps using Windows Virtual Desktop provided for and powered by the Azure cloud. One of the first major obstacles that organizations faced in the early days of the pandemic was around providing alternative secure connectivity solutions to on premise environments and to applications. These challenges was often due to insufficient virtual private network capacity that was originally designed only to accommodate remote system administration and maybe very limited remote worker scenarios. Certainly not large scale remote connectivity. Simply increasing VPN capacity was, of course, the first logical option. However, as this often required a long lead time to secure additional infrastructure as well as cost considerations, alternative approaches were considered. Some workaround solutions, like exposing internal applications directly to the internet to facilitate direct connection and use of these applications, created significant security risks and, of course, vulnerabilities for organizations. There are, of course, much more secure solutions that we'll look at now. Creating a hybrid solution that exposes a secure cloud based front end to the internet for users to connect to, while in the cloud, while the cloud front end in turn connects back to the on premise environment via a single VPN connection, is of course much more preferable than simply exposing the applications to the internet. Alternatively, a rapid lift and shift migration of workloads to the cloud can, in some cases, be performed in a single day, again allowing for secure communication back to on-premise environment via a single VPN connection if required for dependent system integration. These solutions can take full advantage of the extensive security features provided by Azure Defender, Azure based network security appliances, Azure Key Vault, and the web application Firewall, to name a few, all without the need for costly and often time consuming infrastructure purchases. The outright adoption of software as a service solution might also be a good fit for other traditional on premise solutions. Examples here include migrating from on premise file storage solution to OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, and or Teams, depending on the solution requirements. Just like in the previously mentioned infrastructure as a service example, the software as a service model security capabilities are extensive. In fact, one can usually be much more secure in the cloud than what is even possible in on premise environments. Security solutions like Microsoft 365 Defender, Microsoft Cloud App Security, and Azure Active Directory single sign on with conditional access provide artificially intelligent security solutions in this area. Another approach is to modernize on premise web applications in place, right there where they are, effectively turning them into secure software as a service solutions using Azure Active Directory application proxy. As in the case with native SaaS applications like Office 365, proxy applications enjoy all the same security protections afforded by Microsoft 365 Defender. Alternatively, and especially in instances where on premise endpoints cannot easily be used in work from home scenarios, there might be a requirement to provide users with an entirely virtualized endpoint that can be accessed from nearly anywhere and any remote computer, even a remote device or a mobile device. Windows Virtual Desktop hosted in the Azure cloud provides this solution. In this case, combining cybersecurity capabilities of both Azure Defender and M365 Defender. Endpoints configured to patch exclusively from on premises remain unpatched when used remotely, quickly creating vulnerabilities that can be exploited by malware and other threats. Enabling Microsoft Endpoint Manager co-management ensures continued patch management from the cloud and removes the VPN connectivity requirement, as is the case with the exclusively on-premises management model. Default patch management should also be augmented with integrated vulnerability management, also managed directly from the cloud to extend patching not only to include the operating system, but all software installed on the endpoint. Another aspect of traditional on premise cyber defense is content filtering and other defensive techniques often provided by the on premises firewall or web proxy. When working from home, however, traffic, of course, no longer passes through these control surfaces, and internet browsing is no longer restricted by these security policies. This poses an increased risk of browsing to malicious URLs, man in the middle attacks, impersonation, and session hijacking. Preventing malware installation on endpoint while working from home now fall entirely on the endpoint protection solution. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint not only provides this level of endpoint protection, but also features extensive content filtering capabilities directly built into the endpoint. This provides a much more performant solution as the alternative approach of implementing an internet based proxy service or maybe an extension of the on premise proxy infrastructure. Similarly, web applications defense mechanisms like URL rewriting and attachment sandboxing is again relevant in this case and, of course, is provided by Defender for Office. Organizations are scrambling to deploy modern workplace technologies like OneDrive and Teams video collaboration. However, the increased internet traffic demand of these solutions, or perhaps just the initial synchronization of cloud storage solutions, might overrun capped internet packages. This might prompt users to opt out of these deployments and perhaps select alternative solutions that do not necessarily meet the cybersecurity requirements and standards of the organization. Similarly, users might defer or even disable software and operating system patching due to the increased traffic demands leading to vulnerabilities forming in a time of elevated threat landscape. The risk posed by a seemingly insignificant capacity challenge should not be underestimated. Upgrading to uncapped internet is an obvious solution, but might, of course, not be available or practical in all cases. From a cybersecurity perspective, managing endpoints from the cloud to ensure continued patching, perhaps limited only to critical security patches, as well as detecting and preventing shadow IT, are fast becoming important priorities on par with threat detection and response. So, as usual, we would really like to hear from you in this anonymous audience poll. The question we have is, since working from home, have you been using new cloud applications for work not provided by your organization? Some examples include Zoom, Dropbox, WhatsApp, Facebook, Google Drive, and Evernote. The poll can be found just below this video, and please respond now. The sudden implementation of working from home has increased the adoption of shadow IT, or the installation and use of cloud applications not provided, controlled, or secured by the organization. Shadow IT represents a significant risk for both accidental as well as malicious data leakage. In addition, the monetization mechanisms and lock in practices of some consumer level cloud applications might entrench these technologies in the organization, negatively impacting the adoption of solutions preferred by and secured by the organization. Duplicate technologies and other enterprise technical debt and the risk of regulatory compliance findings and possible sanction are further risks in this area. Implementing cloud app discovery, monitoring, and controlling these applications powered by Microsoft Cloud App Security in combination with Defender for Endpoint, provides an excellent solution in this area to the challenge of shadow IT in organizations. The human element has always been targeted in social engineering attacks. Now, more than ever, the BUI Cybersecurity Operations Center and indeed the cyber defense community at large have seen a significant increase in COVID 19 related scams and phishing attacks. In addition to technological defenses, organizations have for a long time invested in improving the so called human firewall through regular cybersecurity awareness training and other campaigns to users. They need to continue this practice and improve where necessary, as this has never been more important. These COVID 19 themed attacks target human curiosity by claiming to be COVID statistics or contact tracing apps. The traditional techniques of impersonating an authority figure and creating a sense of urgency are also still used and are generally more successful for the same reason. The recently enhanced attack simulation training in Microsoft Defender for Office 365 lets you run benign cyber attack simulations on your organization to test your security policies and practices, as well as train your employees to increase their awareness and decrease their susceptibility to attacks. Although we agree that face to face communication is sorely missed, Microsoft Teams supercharges virtual teamwork. Microsoft Teams is the ultimate messaging app for your organization, a workspace for real time collaboration and communication, meetings, file and app sharing, and even the occasional emoji or meme, all in one place and accessible to everyone in the organization. In addition, Teams is highly secure thanks to Microsoft 365 Defender. Comprehensive, best in class security is provided across defense in depth security layers, including multi factor authentication in the identity layer, malware detection in files, also using sandbox detonation in the application layer, and data leakage prevention, including portable data encryption in the data layer, all built right into Teams. Finally, we would like to invite you to talk to us if you want to discuss anything of what you've seen in more detail. We're going to end the webinar now, but you are welcome to stay on and we'll be around to answer questions on the content. Thanks so much for your time today and have a great day further.